Hi, I'm Ryan, and welcome to my coding bootcamp journey. In this series, I'll share my experiences as I learned to code through Flatiron School's web development program. If you know anyone that would be interested in this series, please send them to the link at the bottom of your screen. All right. So, what is new this week? Had kind of a bit late recording this because of like personal stuff, but anyway. Last week I got into creating an API with Rails, and again, just for a quick review, it's a way to kind of hook into someone else's system and get some data from it and use it in your own use it in your own project. So we learned how to set up Rails just so it's like a backend API, and then you set up like what kind of data you want to send out and what structure, and we learn how to grab it using JavaScript. So yeah, that's covered. Yeah. And as far as struggles, I've been kind of dealing with. I'm not quite sure if it's technically imposter syndrome, but I'm kind of behind on the curriculum, and I I've been moving through the labs and lessons more slowly than I was with Ruby, and it is a bit comforting to see that only a few people have. I'm going through lessons and labs. Only a few other people in my cohort of like I think it's like 35, 36 now. So I'm not I'm not like the slow dog in the race, as it were, even though it's not a race. But it is comforting to know that I'm not the only one that's kind of slogging through this. So yeah, that's been my main struggle is just trying. Um, yeah, it's just taking me longer than with Ruby. And victories, it is relatively simple to add an API element to a Rails project, which I like, and it's also pretty simple to like if you're gonna set up something just as a straight API with no front end or anything. I believe it's if I wanted to add an API element to my Rails project, I would just have to use I believe it's fast JSON. That it's a Ruby gem that kind of we're thinking kind of set up a hybrid deal to where you have a regular website that people go to through their browser, but you can also hook in the API and all that. So yeah. And another thing, it's not directly related coding necessarily, is Rocketbook. It's a digital notebook. They have like different sizes and whatnot, but it's essentially you get you buy one of these it's what here we go. Better. So this is what this is a little bit smaller than it's like 8.5 by 11, but it's in this one it has like 30 pages, and you can write at the top with like double number signs or hashtags or pound signs or what octothorpe if you really want. Just, and it automatically names the file, and you can't really see it on the screen, but there's like little circles on the bottom here that if you mark them in, then you can either email it to yourself, or if or any number of different cloud providers like like Google Drive. I don't it may be able to do like like Microsoft, whatever Microsoft's equivalent product is, or Trello, or any number of other cloud providers, and you get their they have a mobile app on both iOS and Android, and you just you just scan the page, and depending on which one of those little circles that you marked in, then it emails it to yourself, email it to yourself, or send it to whatever cloud provider, and then boom, you have a digital copy, and you get it feels like writing on a whiteboard, and it comes with like a special pen, and you get like a mic um that's like a cloth to go with it, to wipe it all down, and so it's a re you know it's the so every page on it's reusable. You just gotta wipe it down like it's a dry erase board. And this is really this I mean it's that I've started using it for the one-on-ones with my cohort lead, as far as like questions, and taking notes during different study groups and whatnot. And I I like the feel of writing, but transferring transferring handwritten notes into digital format is just just regular paper, just having to retype everything is just a pain in the what. And so this I wish I had heard about this prior to starting at Flatiron School, but yeah, this is definitely it's definitely helped a number of processes and whatnot. So that's one. And I shared with my cohort lead the that going slower that in JavaScript than I was in Ruby, and he explained that the way JavaScript executes is totally different from Ruby, which I figured that out. But with Ruby, it's it just reads top to bottom, it's top to bottom, and executes everything in order. But with JavaScript, it's more like a comic book, that it kind of like a hodgepodge style. Like starts out in the top left, in a cell in the top left part of page one. Then it goes over to the middle right of page two. Then maybe the bottom left of page two. Then to the top right of page one. Then to it, so it doesn't necessarily execute in the way that I've been used to. And as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, that it was kind of set up to just be kind of like a thing that there was no like use case one the intended use case when it was created. It was just kind of like set up as a scripting language here, some for people to play with and go, and then people started using it for real for actual real projects, and they started just slapping thing functionality on top of it. And so yeah, definitely so in the way that it operates, because they have both asynchronous and synchronous, and what uh, there are certain functions that you can set up to where it waits for a certain period, and then executes certain things at the same time. And yeah, it's a bit tricky. So he's I I kind of wondered if the reason why I was kind of going through this part of the program slower, because I was dealing with front end, or because the fact that I'm dealing with JavaScript. And I think it's mostly because I'm dealing with JavaScript, because CSS, which is both CSS and HTML, which are the other main staples of web development, which they're both front end, execute in the same way that Ruby does. They goes top to bottom, and so yeah, it was nice to that explanation from my cohort lead definitely helped, as far as understanding like the reason behind why I'm moving more slowly through this, just because JavaScript executes all wonky like, and yeah. So yeah, those are my victories. And as far as stuff I'm looking forward to, honestly, I don't really have anything to put in here. I've just not because I don't, I'm feeling, not because I'm feeling down, and not it's like, oh, I have no reason to move forward. It's not that kind of thing. Just I've just been so focused on making sure that I'm maintaining some kind of forward momentum here, that uh, even though I'm not moving at the same pace as I was with Ruby, just making sure that I'm still moving one foot in front of the other, figuratively speaking. That any progress made is still progress. So it's really the big thing that I have to kind of keep in mind, that it's about comprehension and integration, not necessarily getting to a certain it's not a race. So I have to that's kind of like what I have to keep in mind, is that there's a reason why there's there's a reason why I'm not moving forward as fast, but so long as I'm comprehending what I'm working on, and making sure that to kind of integrate it into my current knowledge, then I call that a success. Whether it actually is, well, we all define success in our own ways. But anyway, that's all I have for you this week. So I do thank you for watching. If you want to stay up to date, please like and subscribe, and feel free to check out the rest of this series. And if you have any comments or questions, please post them below, and I'll see you in the next chapter.